Hello folks, this is Solo speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is a double up game played together with Rienzo. In this game, we're going to be looking at another Kayle team composition. And in fact, it's going to be a really close Kayle game. I'll give that away right now. Ended up being a fun, exciting game. And I thought it would be fun to go ahead and put this up on YouTube. Kayle is one of those comps that has been around the entire set. It is a reroll comp. It is a comp that seems to work a little bit better in double up than in the single player game mode. And that's just because you can feed your teammate with the champions you need. The challenge for a Kayle board is always you need to 3-star your Kayle, and then you also need to get to level 9 in order to play the comp effectively. And that's pretty hard to do when it's the single player game mode. It's a lot easier to do when you have a partner that can grab the Kayles and the Zacks that you need to be effective. Now, when I got the Senna drop, I was thinking of playing Mech because Mech is pretty strong in this patch. But then I see this. I see that I have two. I started with a Zac. I have another Zac. I have 2 Kayles in my shop. And then Rienzo has 2 more Zacks as well. So we just have Zac 2-star immediately. So here on 1-3, I already have 2 Kayles. And if you count the one that Rienzo's holding, we also have 4 Zacks, like right here. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll go ahead and play this. And I was trying to fish to see if I could get the over 9,000 power up for Kayle. Oh, by the way, I also wanted to grab the Aatrox, but I failed to click it just barely in time, which is a little bit sad because I would have been able to make the Aatrox 2-star there. But it's okay. Aatrox is just a trait bot for this board. He's not super important. We play him on the board. If you get a run of Aatroxes, you can try to 3-star him, but he's not ultimately all that important in this team composition. Anyway, I did not get one of the game-long stacking augments for Kayle, but I do have one of her best power-ups, Ramping Rage, which just gives her stacking attack speed. It's basically like another Rage Blade, just gives her stacking attack speed, and that's a pretty good option as well. So I'm looking at the different options here. Sunfire board, no. I was thinking gold for dummies, but then I see Stars Are Born. The first 2-star champ you click on and the first 1-star champ you click on instantly gets set to a 2-star version of the unit. And the reason why I want this is as soon as I see a Kayle in the shop, I'll be able to purchase the Kayle, and then all of a sudden I'll get 3 Kayles at once. So I was going to say that's what I want to use my 1-star version of the trait on. I want to use my 1-star version of the trait on Kayle. But I also get an instant 2-star unit as well, and I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do with that. Headliner was watching this game, though. He was hanging out with us. We had 3 people. We always seem to get an odd number of people when we're trying to do double up. But he was watching, and one of us had to sit out because there were only 3 of us. And his suggestion was, you should grab the Kabuko and get an instant 2-star Kabuko. And I was like, huh. My initial thought was, no, Kabuko doesn't get played on the final Kayle board. You play Udyr, which means that you can't have Udyr and Kabuko on the board together, or you lose their mentor values. So I was like, no, I'll just save it and use it on Jin, who is a unit that you do play on this board. But Henry was like, I think that's a bad idea. I think you should just take the Kabuko right now. He's a 2-star. Kabuko is very strong on stage 2 and stage 3. And boom, there's the Kayle immediately. So now that's great. I get that back. I get another Zac coming over from Rienzo. And now I get my shop back. Now I can actually buy units and send them over to his board. But anyway, back to that point. It just makes sense to get the Kabuko and get a whole lot of power immediately up front. Because that is the difference between like win streaking in the early game, or maybe not win streaking. Early game Kayle is pretty weak. But the difference between like winning some of these rounds and probably just losing every single round in the early game. Because if I just have a 2-star Zac and like a 1-star Aatrox and a 1-star Kayle, I am not going to win these rounds. Like, I'm just not going to win these rounds. And it's important that we preserve some health here because Rienzo is going to try to rush level 9. He's already decided he's going to play a rush level 9 team composition. And he's going to try to play one of the team compositions where you go level 9 and you just play all the 5-cost units because he thinks he has the spot for it. He has a Gnar with an early Rage Blade, and he has the power-up on Gnar whereby, I think it's called Golden Edge. It's like after you attack, I think it's after you attack 85 times, you get a gold drop. The first time it's 2 gold, and then the second time you get it, it's 3 gold, and then the 4th time you get it, it's 4 gold, etc., etc., etc. So the more you attack with this unit, the more you get gold drops over time. It's just going to generate a lot of econ. Golden Edge. It is called Golden Edge. So he is going to be rushing to level 9, and he's going to be trying to play a board that features a lot of 4 and 5 cost units. So the problem with that, though, is if I'm playing Kayle, who's like also this late game scaling composition, and Rienzo's also going to play a Rush 9 scaling team composition, we have to not die. We have to not die before our comps come online. So it's actually pretty important that I play a board that does not just like loss streak through all of stage 2 and stage 3. If we're both playing like these slow acting scaling team compositions, we're just going to die. We're never going to hit our comp. So I have to be a little bit stronger in like the here and now. I can't just be thinking about what my board's going to look like at level 9. So Headwinder suggested to take the Kabako. Actually turns out to be a great suggestion because it's going to anchor my board and stabilize it here in the early game. So I am not just going to loss streak every single round. That would be better for econ purposes, but as I keep saying, we have to not die in this game. And it's going to help keep us afloat for a while longer. I'm actually last pick on this carousel because I've won 2 out of the 3 rounds here. And I was hoping I can get this rod. Is that going to be available? Yes. Okay. I managed to outrun. Had the inside track there on that Yasuo. So I'll go ahead and grab the rod, which is important because Kayle needs rods. I do have the Rage Blade already, which is our most important item. But now I would like to get a Jeweled Gauntlet if possible. And hey, I'm actually in a really good spot from an econ perspective. Level 4, 33 gold on 2.5 is quite good. Especially considering that I took like a pseudo econ augment. The one I took, Stars is Born. It does give you gold as well as the ability to instantly upgrade a 1 cost in your shop to 2 stars and a 2 cost in your shop to 2 stars. So it did give me a gold drop as well as that. I think it's 7 gold. I know the text was on the screen earlier, but I can't remember off the top of my head. So yeah, I'm in a good econ position here as I'm up against this this person who got a Supreme Cells was it emblem back there. That's obviously an older build. The Darius Kaisa build really dominated double up for quite a while. It's been nerfed pretty heavily, but it's an old build, but it still checks out as you see Darius leap over there and just dunk poor Kayle into the ground. But again, I'm not expecting to win these rounds. Kayle is weak in the early game. Kayle doesn't really do a whole lot until she gets at least to level 6, where she starts firing off the waves on every 3rd attack. But yeah, look at how many attacks Rienzo's gotten. I think he's already about to cash out Golden Edge for some additional gold. So he's definitely stacking up some money there. And I'm having reasonably good luck at hitting some of these. And I can send him a Gnar for Gnar 2 stars. So yeah, sure, let's go ahead and make use of that. I actually said I thought it was better he had Gnar 1 star for some of those rounds. I had said I thought it was better he had Gnar 1 star because Gnar 1 star did not kill things. And then that allowed Gnar to keep attacking and getting more attacks in. I had the same problem as well. So I used my Stars is Born on that Kayle in the shop. The problem was that gave me a 2-star Kayle, but it was a 2-star Kayle on my bench, not on the field. So I could have put that one on the field, but then I would have had to pop the power off and the items off. And I did not want to use an item remover and a power-up remover just to take the items and the power-up off of the Kayle. So I had Kayle 2-star on my bench for a couple rounds there. I wasn't too worried. I already had another 1-star Kayle on the bench, so I just needed to find one more Kayle to get the 2-star on the board. And Rienzo was able to find a Kayle and send it over to me. He actually has another Zac over there as well. So I'm on 6 Kayles, 5 Zacs right now, and Rienzo has another Zac on his board you see right there in that corner. So I'm on 6 Kayles, 6 Zacs at the end of stage 2. That is a good place to be. And it definitely helps me that no one else is playing this particular comp in this lobby. So yeah, so far so good. It's going reasonably well. I'll pick up the Jhin. I can slot that in. Next thing I want to get in is for Wraiths, and that'll require fighting Jhin and Malzahar. But they are basically just trait bots in this team composition. They'll kick in a little extra damage, but they are not major units that you play on this board. If you want a refresher on what Wraith trait does, here we are in the minion round. Wraith is one of the vertical traits in this set. It's very strong in the late game. 6 Wraith is quite strong. 2 Wraith doesn't really do a whole lot. I'll read the description here. Every 4 seconds, the Shadow Realm strikes the 3 closest enemies, deals total magic damage equal to a portion of damage done by Wraith since the last trigger. So every 4 seconds, it's going to hit enemy units. Does damage equal to a percentage of all the damage Wraith units have done up to this point in time throughout the game. By the way, I get a sword and a bow from this minion round, so I can just make Giant Slayer instantly, and I am quite happy to do that. It's a good item on Kayle. It's actually considered to be one of her perfect items. I believe it's Rage Blade, Giant Slayer, Jeweled Gauntlet are considered to be her perfect items. But to go back to that Wraith point, as I said, it deals a percentage of the damage that Kayle has or not Kayle, that your Wraith units have done. So when you have 2 Wraith units on the board, like I do right now, and Wraith 2 trade in, Wraith 2 does 20% of the damage your Wraith units have inflicted since the last tick of the Wraith trait. You can see it going off. Looks like a little greenish triangle that hits 3 units. So like 20% of the damage that Zach and Kayle have done since the last tick of Wraith. I mean, it's not like a lot of damage, but if you get 6 Wraith units in, 6 Wraith does 60% of the damage your Wraith units have inflicted since the last tick. And you have 6 units on the board instead of 2. So it just like kind of scales multiplicatively as the game goes on. You have more Wraith units on the board, and those Wraith units are doing a higher, and the Wraith trait is doing a higher percentage of the damage inflicted. All right, anyway, our next augment is another gold one. Tesla Coil was strong in the last patch, but it just got nerfed. Is it still good? I have no idea. We don't have augment data, so it's hard to say. I was going to take Water Lotus, but then I was like, oh yeah, the big thing about Water Lotus is that when your abilities critically strike, your units get a percentage of mana added back to them. Kayle does not have mana, so she can't really take advantage of that. And on top of that, I'm also planning on building a Jeweled Gauntlet on her anyway. So Water Lotus is not really the right call at this particular moment. So I take the components, and I'm able to make some reasonably good components here for my board. I was able to make a Spirit Massage, which I'm pretty happy with for the Zach. And I'll just play a second Zach on the board right now. That's definitely better than playing the Jhin for this immediate moment. I'll just make a Spirit Massage, which is a good frontline item on pretty much any tank. And I also made the Ionic Spark because I don't have any magic resistance shred in this on my team. I believe Kayle's ability has some innate magic shred to it, but it's not bad because my comp is going to be doing all magic damage for the time being. In the late game, I will get Varus on the board and I'll start doing some physical damage as well. But for right now, my damage is all magic damage. So yeah, having some MR shred is actually really important on this board. And I couldn't quite clutch that round out. Yeah, poor Kayle, not quite a 3-star unit and not quite level 6 yet. Obviously, I would have won that round easily if she were at level 9, or if she were a 3-star unit, or if I were level 6. Would have been pretty easy to win that round. But there we go. Okay, speaking of the devil, there is Kayle. And just like that, I'm going to hit the 3-star Kayle. So that's nice. And then I hit the 2-star Jhin, and I decide I will play 2-star Jhin over the second Zach on my board. I also find a Malphite, and now I'm on 7 Zachs. So I just need 2 more of them. And with me being this close to Zach, I will continue to roll on level 5. I could start leveling right now, like go up to level 6, put the Mauls on the board. But with me being only 2 Zachs off, I think it's worthwhile to stay here and continue to roll for the Zach 3-star. So my board's coming together. This is pretty early for a Kayle board to come together. As I said, I've been going like win-loss so far. I think I went win, then loss, then win, then loss, then win, then 2 losses. So like I'm not winning every round. Like you wouldn't expect Kayle to be win streaking at this portion of the gameplay. But I'm about to come online, so I'm hoping that my board can carry us in the mid-game, because we know Rienzo is still just going to be scaling with his board. He needs to get up to level 8. He needs to get to level 8 quickly and then get to level 9 so he can look to play all of those 4 and 5 cost units that he wants to add on his board. There is a conflict with our boards, though. The board that Rienzo is playing typically runs Varus and Twisted Fate and Zyra as the backline carries. Zyra is a bit of a support unit. By the way, here I'm able to get a glove for my Jeweled Gauntlet for Kayle, so I'm quite happy with that. But as I said, typically it runs like a really beefy front line, but you run TF and Varus as your intended carries in the back line. And then Zyra's also back there as like a support unit. The problem is I, of course, also need to play Varus on my board because I need him for 6 Wraith. So we do have this conflict in our teams where we kind of both need to play this unit, and that's not great. So Rienzo is going to end up kind of pivoting a little bit and playing a different unit instead of looking to play into the Varus, because any Varuses he gets, he's going to try to send over to me. That's going to make his comp a little bit trickier to put together. But look, he's already level 7 right now. I went ahead and found 1 more Zach there, so that's nice. And now I'm on 8 Zachs. I also found another Malzahar, and then I randomly found this one Ashe, which I will play on the board for a round or 2 because it puts Duelist trait in play. I have not found Udyr yet. So yeah, the Ashe will put Duelist trait in play for Kayle, and Kayle will be stacking up attack speed in 3 different ways. She's going to be stacking it off Duelist trait, which gives extra attack speed every time you attack. She's going to be stacking it off her Rage Blade, which goes up over time in the fight. That like every second it goes up by a certain amount. And then her power-up, Ramping Rage, also gives her additional attack speed as she stacks. I believe she gets 3% attack speed every time she attacks. So Kayle is a scaling champ, and she's very attack speed based. The longer the fight goes, the faster she's going to attack. So yeah, and then Ashe is going to kick in some damage. Note that Ashe did like no damage whatsoever. Granted, she doesn't have any items, but yeah, Ashe got absolutely eviscerated in this patch. She's now a terrible unit. I mean a terrible unit. They very, very obviously over-nerfed her. So yeah, she's just a garbage unit in this particular patch. That'll probably change, but for right now, she's really, really, really bad. Her average placement is like 5.1, 5.2 as a 4-cost unit. 4-cost units usually have an average placement around about 4. Like if at the high end, they're usually around like 4.1, as you see me hit the Zac 3-star. Excellent. I also did manage to hit Maul's 2-star, so that's great. And I'll put the Mauls and the Jin on the board, and then just like that, we now have 4 Wraith in, and let's give a power up to the Zac. The Colossal would be nice, but I actually do need all these units on the board. Actually, you know what? I should have gone Colossal, and I should have taken the Aatrox off the board here, because I actually don't need Aatrox. I need him later when I play Udyr, but I don't need him right now. So I ended up taking Body Change, so he'll transform into the Kabako and provide both of them with a shield. But yeah, I should have taken the Colossal here, because I did not actually need Aatrox on the board. I was in the middle of another point earlier about Ashe. I was saying that her average placement right now was like 5.1, something like that. 4-cost units at the top end are usually around like 4.0, 4.1. That's like if they're very strong, they're around there. If they're weak, they're usually around like 4.4, maybe 4.5. I mean, they're 4-cost units. They should have a pretty good average placement because they're such expensive units to play. But yeah, Ashe is around like 5.1, which is just absolutely abysmal. It's difficult to put in words how bad that is. Really, really bad. Let's just say that Ashe is a garbage unit. That last round was actually really important because there was one team in the lobby that actually had not lost a single round yet. They were still on 100 HP. They were both on full win streak. And I was able to end one of their players' win streak. Like I said, that was a big, big deal. I actually got reinforced on, but because I had Kayle 3, Zac 3, I was actually able to win and defeat the reinforcing player as well. Because like we really don't want this team to continue win streaking in the lobby. We want to cut into that econ and stop them from just like running away with the game. So good sign there. And now I just need to be power leveling for quite a long time because I'm going to need to get to level 9. Kayle unlocks her ability at level 9. But then I also get this. Rienzo finds a Zac. Or not a Zac, a K'Sante, excuse me. I was like, oh my goodness, you found a K'Sante? Great, let's go. I mean, I believe he is already level 8. I believe he's rolling it down on level 8 right now and trying to hit a bit more of his board. So he was looking for, he ended up playing a Juggernaut front line. Biggest issue is he still has the Gnar for his carry, and he only found one set, unfortunately. He was hoping to find a couple sets and move his items over, but he only found the one set. He did find 2 K'Santes, though, so those can come over to my board. Fortunately, our front lines do not conflict at all, because he's playing a Juggernaut front line. And, I guess we do have a little conflict. I need to play Udyr, and he also needs to play Udyr, but we both just have them as a trait bot. Now I'm up against the other player on that team that's win streaking, and I beat that one as well. So now I've ended both of their win streaks in the lobby. The one player on that team won 9 rounds in a row, and the other player won 10 rounds in a row. So ending those win streaks is actually a really big deal for the lobby. All right, time for our last augment. The problem is I didn't really get augments I wanted here. It's not Heroic Grab Bag. It's not Evil Beyond Measure. That's horrifically bad. It's not Pair of 4s. I don't play through 4 costs. So I end up taking Ascension, and in retrospect, after playing this game, I do not think this was the right call at all. The big problem with Ascension is I'm already playing a stall comp here. Kayle scales up over the course of the rounds. Now you might say, oh cool, you're playing a stall comp. Well, Ascension's great then. When you reach, when the Ascension goes off, you just stall out the rounds and then Ascension goes off. And then your team just like runs over everybody else. So that should be great, right? Well, when you're running a stall comp, what you really need is an augment that gives you some upfront power early on in the fights so that your team has time to scale. Like if Kayle is given, 15 to 20 seconds to just auto attack and get all her attack speed scaled up, then she's going to be insanely strong. So what I actually need is not something that makes her even stronger at the end of a fight when she's already really strong. What I need is something that lets her get to the end of the fight and Ascension does not do that. It's also the case that the longer the gameplay goes on in TFT, the shorter the rounds tend to be. By the way, that person has an aura farming Lee Sin. I actually hit them one round before the aura farming goes off. Yeah, aura farming was stupidly overbuffed in this patch as well. Now you get the aura farming unit on 4-3, which is ridiculously early to get a 2-star 5 cost. And you can just build your team around whatever 5 cost you're about to get. I did a game before this one where I took that one and I had Gwen as my 2-star 5 cost. So I just built a Soul Fighter team and I was guaranteed a 2-star Gwen on 4-3. So I was like, okay. That's pretty silly. That game didn't end up being very interesting, though. This one, I'm casting this one because it's a more interesting game. But yeah, it's a little bit silly overall. So anyway, just to get back to that point, I don't need something that makes my team even stronger at the end of a fight. I actually need something that makes me stronger at the beginning of a fight. So that was not ultimately, I think, a great pick. Because, like, look, Ascension kicks in now, and, like, the fight's already over. I've already won the fight. I'm already going to either win the fight or lose the fight by the time that Ascension goes off. So it just ends up not really doing a whole lot. To be fair, I didn't really like a lot of my options. I had some of the other options were also pretty terrible, like that Evil Beyond Measure, which is an absolutely horrific augment. It just doesn't do anything. It's like, oh, cool, a 3-star Kayle. Now she'll do like 12% true damage. And it's not even 12% extra damage. It literally converts like 12% of the damage she's already doing into true damage. It's just a bad augment. There should have been taken out of the pool or buffed a long time ago. So I didn't really have any things I really liked there, but I probably could have found something better than what I ultimately ended up taking here. Now, we did get one good thing from this carousel. Rienzo on his level 8 roll down ended up hitting a pair of Brahms. And there was another Brahm on this carousel. So he now has 2-star Brahm. It's actually popping up on the interface there. So that's pretty good. Like, I mean, I'm not sure it's a great fit for his team, but it's not terrible. Like, having 2-star Brahm is definitely not the worst thing. So that's going to help him out, and he'll be able to play around that unit, and that's 1 5-cost unit he doesn't have to find now. I took a tier on the carousel because that allowed me to make a Spear of Shojin, which is a good item on Varus. I probably should just put it on Malzahar for right now. It's not a very good Jin item. It's a semi-decent item on Mauls. He prefers blue buff, but the Spear Shojin is not terrible. Still, I would have to burn an item remover. I guess I probably should have just moved it over to Mauls and just accepted I was going to use another item remover. I have enough of them that I could pop it off Jin now and then later pop it off Malzahar when I actually find Varus. So I probably could have done better. Yeah, like once again, Ascension just does nothing. There's like 2 units on the enemy board left by the time Ascension kicks in. This is one of those augments that was good in earlier sets, but just like doesn't really seem good in this set. The fights are just too fast. They just end too quickly. In some of the other sets, the fights have been longer, but they're really not in this one. This is the point where I was looking at Rienzo's board, where again he was losing a lot of these rounds. He was getting a lot of golden edge stacks, but he was still losing the rounds. And I was like, you know, I have a Jin in my shop. Why don't you just swap over to Jin? These items are going to be good. All the items you have on Gnar are going to be good on Jinx. Not Jin, Jinx. I was like, why don't you just put every single one of those items on Jinx? And like, she'll actually do real damage for a change. Now, she doesn't have Sniper trait or Star Guardian trait, but even so, I have to think a 1-star Jinx is better than a 2-star Gnar with those particular items. So we're going to go ahead and make that swap. And Jinx will hold the items until Rienzo can find a Twisted Fate. This fight, though, is a little bit unfortunate. I've been win streaking for a while. You can see I'm on a 7-match winning streak. I really wanted to carry my win streak through into the minion stage, but unfortunately, I'm just mispositioned for this fight. I need to be in the opposite corner because the Kayle just pulls aggression too early from the Jace and from the Darius. I 100% could have won that fight. I just needed Kayle to be in the opposite corner. If she was in the spot where Malzahar is, I would have won that fight. And that actually is a big deal because that actually cost me a lot of econ there, which is really sad. Now, the good news is Rienzo has found a Varus. So now I have the 6 Wraith in, and that is a very big spike because now I don't have to find the Varus in order to play 6 Wraith. I already just have it in immediately, and I will begin itemizing Varus, who takes over in the late game as the other dual carry. It's like Kayle is 1 carry, and then Varus is the other one. And I noticed as well, I still don't have a new deer yet, so I put it in my team planner. But then, okay, well, 2 of them pop out of the minion round, so okay. Remember that Kabuko I took at the very beginning of the game because Headwinder suggested I should look to build around the Kabuko? He was on my board for all of Stage 2, all of Stage 3, and all of Stage 4. So yeah, I think I got my value out of that. I think I definitely got my value out of that one. And I'm pretty content with that. So again, Headwinder, kudos. Thanks for giving me good advice there, and it worked out really well. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to build more items for Varus, and I decided I would try to reforge this to see if I got something good. I get another belt. That's not bad. We'll do a Wormugs. It's a very good item on Cassante. And I'll just make the frontline item. And now I'm left with a leftover sword, but I might get a component somewhere. You never know. Swords are good on Varus, so I'll look to go ahead and take that. Overall, my board is definitely coming online now. I do need to try to get 2-star Varus. That's the big thing. 2-star Varus is like the last big spike. Obviously, I'd like to hit 2-star Cassante as well, but the Varus is the big spike. And getting 6 Wraith in is big. Yeah, once again, Ascension pops literally as the round end. Oh, good use of a gold augment there. Definitely could have gotten a little bit more value out of that last augment choice there. The problem for us, though, is we don't have a lot of health left in this lobby. We're on 27 health, and that's not what we want to be, not exactly what we want. Rienzo has hit level 9. Unfortunately, though, as I said, he had to econ all the way up to level 9, and he didn't really hit what he was looking for on his roll down. I actually think maybe he would have done better to greed to level 9 instead of doing a roll down on level 8. I think we actually might have done better to just greed to level 9 and then roll on 9 instead of rolling on 8. But I know he was trying to stabilize his board, and he did find some useful stuff. He found me, Cassante, and then he also found a Varus. So it's not like it was a total waste for our situation. But yeah, he did finally manage to find a TF, and then he managed to find the set 2-star, which is huge. I was going to send him a set, but he found it on his own. So that's big because Set is his main tank. He's playing 6 Juggernaut frontline over there. And now he can start building through the TF. Now he needs to try to find Zyra. And if he had actually held his Varus instead of being kind enough to send it to me, his board would be starting to spike really hard right now. But of course, he didn't. He sent it over to me because it made a big deal for my board, and it let me play the 6 Wraith. Speaking of which, 6 Wraith. This one is every time the Wraith ticks go off, again every 4 seconds, they will do 60% of the damage done by the Wraith units up to that point in time. So like if you look on the damage chart, Kayle did 11,000 damage, and the Wraith ticks did 7,900 damage. Yeah, Wraith 6 is actually really, really strong. It actually has an additional property as well I didn't mention. Your lowest health Wraith heals for 18% of the damage done by Wraiths and the Shadow Realm. So every time that tick goes off, it's also a heal as well. So it keeps track of the damage my Wraith units do, and then we inflict 60% of that back on the other team, and then we heal for 18% of that on whoever the lowest health Wraith unit is. I took a random item from the double up gift rounds, and it ended up being another Spear of Shojin, so I was like, okay, I guess I'll do double Spear of Shojin on Varus. I don't think that that's great. I would have preferred like an actual AD item, but it's okay. It's playable, even if it's not good. The alternative would have been to put it on Malzahar, and I think it's just better to have it on the Varus. Like, I just think it's better. And so that's why he has the double Spear of Shojins. Obviously, I would not have made double Spear of Shojins because that would be a little bit of a waste, but it is what it is. I'm up against the Supreme Cell board again, and it looks like my board, when I am positioned correctly, as I am for this round, is able to win against this board without too much trouble. There we go. I just have to position in that corner, and then that allows me to win the round. Now, there's another Varus on Rienzo's bench, which he's going to send to me in 2 rounds. I was like, I just need 1 more Varus here in order to make the Varus 2-star. And then, oh, there's a Varus on this carousel. Ooh. If I get this Varus, and then Rienzo sends me the one on his bench, that's going to be a Varus 2-star, which is absolutely awesome. And it even has a good item for me, too. It has a Guard Breaker, or whatever it's called. And I think it's now Striker's Flail. So I just need to go and grab this, and let's go get it. But, oh, I take a bad path. Oh, no, I didn't get it. Oh, and then I wanted to go get the Steadfast Heart. But then the lobby ends before I get the Steadfast Heart. And it actually gives me a Titan's Resolve, which I didn't even want. I was like, what the? I don't want a Titan's Resolve. I guess I'll put it on Cassante. But, oh, what a disaster that was. Yeah, I just missed path. I've said this before in other videos. The hitbox for taking things off the carousel is in the back. It's the back of the unit, not the front. And I just mispathed on that carousel round. But, oh, what a mistake. I lost out on an item that would be quite good on Varus. The Striker's Flail is a good item on him. And then I would be getting another Varus coming over literally next round from Rienzo. That is a humongous mistake. That can very easily be the difference between us like getting a 1st or 2nd place finish or us like crashing out in 3rd place. Because this lobby is still very, very tight. The weakest board in the... I mean, I'm going to win this round. Or no, I'm not going to win this round. Oh, the Jinx got a heal there at the last second. I thought I 100% was going to win that. But no, Jinx actually won the round. Boy, if I had a gold augment that actually did something instead of a Ascension year, I probably would have won that round. Oh man, because like here comes the Varus, and yeah, I would have Varus 2-star. I would have had the Varus 2-star right here. I was like, oh my god, ugh. Well, I'll lock for the Udyr 2-star, Cassante 2-star, but man, what a mistake. Yeah, you gotta be careful on those carousel rounds. And then I'd also have a much better front line if I had been able to get the Steadfast Heart. The Titans is just not a good item. It actually has been reworked in a recent patch. It no longer gives the crowd control immunity that it used to. It's kind of an item that doesn't have a great fit anymore. So this is not, and it's not an item I want on Cassante. I just want like a pure tank item on him. So yeah, this is not really what I want here. So that carousel was kind of a disaster, and it was 100% my fault. I could have done a lot better there. So we're up against this board that's playing 3-star Jhin behind a whole bunch of, are these Juggernauts, Protector units? Yeah, I thought I'd be stronger than that board, but no, apparently not. It just took me too long to cut through the front line. Once again, Ascension not doing anything, because by the time Ascension goes off, the fight is over. So like, do not take this augment in this set. It was good in a lot of previous sets, but just not good in this one. The damage is too fast. The fights are over too quickly. It doesn't... They don't last long enough. It's the same reason why Talisman of Ascension is garbage in this set as well. The fights are just... Talisman of Ascension is the artifact where your unit gets really strong after, I think it's 22 seconds. It just takes too long. The fights never last 22 seconds in this set. Not outside the early game. So, yeah. You can see that there's just too much damage in the set. It doesn't last long enough. So, anyway. Alright, well, all I can do is continue rolling here on level 9. I desperately need to find Varus, and oh... Well, okay. Sometimes you just got to get lucky. So I do manage to hit that. And look, the Striker's Flail comes back as well. So I was like, all right, I'll put the Striker's Flail back on again. I mean, we'll still run the double Shojin for now. A little bit wonky, but I mean, we might as well. And then I'm going to try to move my tank items over to the Cassante. Now that I have 2-star Cassante, I think it's better to have these things on Cassante. So like, I'll put the support items on the Zac. And I need to swap my power up as well. There's just so much stuff you have to do in this set. So let's put the Warmogs, the Gargoyles, and the Spirit Visage on Cassante. Let's get him a power up. I'll take the Adaptive Skin. But like, what happened here? Because I had to do so much stuff in between the fight, I'm up against the Caitlyn 3, Jace 3 board. And what happens? Kayle instantly got killed by the Caitlyn. That's a really, really, really unnecessary loss there. I am definitely stronger than that board. The only reason I lose the round is because my Kayle is mispositioned. But like, I was just doing so much garbage in the round. I had to move all these items. I had to move the power up. It just takes too long to do all this nonsense. So, but now we have no margin for error, as I'm going to swap this power up again. Yeah, I just take Unstoppable. That's one of Cassante's best power ups. We're on 1 health. If either of us loses a round now, the game is over. If either of us loses a round, the game is over right now. So, yeah. What Rienzo actually wanted, he was like, just send me anything right now. I need to buy a unit that's locked in my shop. But I can't send him anything. I can't because the send's not up yet. So, oof. All right, we got to hope that we can win this round. I'm up against the Jace 3 heavyweight board again with Supreme Cells. But... I think that I can beat this board. I have been beating this board each time I've been playing it. And a big reason why is this person is not positioning their Jace and their Darius on the opposite side. I just have to put Varus and the Kayle on the other side of the board from them. So, all right, we win. Maybe essentially actually does a little bit this round. But now we have to get over to Rienzo's board. If either of us loses, the game is over. And oh, this is a close round. Kayle is dead. Varus is dead. I'm down to just Cassante. Okay. Oh my god, that was like Cassante and Set there were like the only units left. Our tanks managed to finish off the other team, and we knocked them out of the lobby. So that's a team out and us still alive. So I was like, oh my god, yeah. He had Rienzo had the 2-star Zyra, but he couldn't buy it. He just didn't have enough gold for it. Woo, okay, but we're alive. We're still alive. And we actually thought this team that was still remaining was actually weaker than the team that just got knocked out, that just died on the last round. So we actually thought we could probably overcome this team. It's just we have no margin for error. This board that I'm up against this round it's a Star Guardian board. I mean, it's fine, but like it's just kind of a normal Star Guardian. Like there's nothing special about this board. There's not like an artifact item or an emblem or anything crazy. It's just like a normal Star Guardians board. And I think that my board is just stronger than that overall. It's not bad or anything, but they're clearly going for RE 3-star and they haven't hit it yet. They have 8 RAs. They only have Poppy 1-star. They only have Cassante 1-star. So their front line, and they've actually over-itemized their back line. They actually have no front line here, like, at all. So I'm definitely, yeah, I'm just going to rip through this board. It's not especially going to be close. But remember, neither of us can lose a round right now. If either of us lose a round, the game's over. But the good news is it looks like Rienzo was able to win that round too. All right, so now that team is also on 1 HP. And now the next team to lose a round is out. So there's only going to be one more round in the game, no matter what. We do have another carousel first, though. And there's an infinity edge here on this carousel. It's like, oh, wow. Yeah. Let's take this. This is the perfect item for Varus. That's going to let me do Spear of Shojin, so Varus casts faster, plus the infinity edge to allow his damage on his ult to crit. And then also, then he'll also have the, what is it, the Striker's Flail, which has great synergy with items that crit. And I'll move the other Spear of Shojin over to Malzahar. So, okay, my board has come completely together. I have everything now that I want for my board. And I just have to beat this Darius player, who I've been beating the last couple rounds. Now, will this player finally wise up and realize that they need to swap their Darius to the left side of the board? Will they remember to do this? Or will they just continue standing there like they've been doing the entire time? The answer is no. They never reposition their Darius, not even one time throughout the whole match. And like that allows, if you notice, the Cassante gets off a charge, knocks everybody up at the start of the fight. That only lasts like a second or two, but it still does matter. It slows them down in the fight. Kayle's alive. Varus is alive. We are ripping through this team. I think the Supreme Cell boards tend to get outscaled anyway, so I'm going to win. Can I go over to Rienzo? Oh, no! Rienzo actually lost. Oh, no! But, oh, woo! We had slightly more health left than they did. We finished at -4 and they finished at -8. So, oh my god, Kayle just gave me a heart attack. But we did manage to win this game, so we will take it. We will take the first place finish. Now, here's the sad thing. Note the little sign that says processing. This game never counted. Yeah, we got no LP from this game. For whatever reason, the matchmaking just never recorded this. It did not show up in the stats. It did not give us LP. It's like this game never happened. But I swear this game did happen. So we get no credit for a first place finish. Rito, please. All right, once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. It was a fun game. Thanks to Rienzo for joining me. Until next time, take care, folks. I'll see you again soon.